Good morning. It is Friday, April 23rd. I'm Shane Seeley, and this is the CBC Morning Report. Leading our news, we hear that Barbadians just have a little bit more freedom to move around with an announcement from the Prime Minister, Mia Amor-Motley, that the COVID-19 restrictions are being eased. This time around, as the current directive comes to an end, the Prime Minister has announced a further ease in restrictions that will see a reduction in the curfew hours from Thursday to Sunday by moving the start time from 11 p.m. to midnight instead and ending at the regular 5 in the morning. Monday to Wednesday continue to be without curfew. The new measures, which will go into effect from the 27th of this month, will also see a return to communion and baptisms being allowed for churches, but with specific protocols. In a national address last evening, the Prime Minister also announced a further delay in the return to in-person classes at the island schools. She says the heavy ash fall that still continues to affect the island has been the major factor in that decision that will instead see a return to online classes from April 27th instead.
This morning, the Minister of Education's officials, I think, met with the unions and recognized that given the state of cleanup across the 74 schools, we are not yet ready to be able to have children back in the school plant next week. And to that extent, there were a number of issues that they confronted as they reflected. There was still a high level of dust in the environment, and even where cleaning had started, as many of you are discovering, as many of us are discovering, that the breeze still blows through and is blowing dust back into areas at a high level, especially where there are big open areas, and most schools have pastures next to them.
The Prime Minister adds that low water pressure and unavailability of water at some schools have also been issues. She also expressed regret about the negative impact that the continued absence of in-person classes would have on the island's children.
I really feel for our children, and it is therefore going to require extraordinary support on the part of all of us, because they have had their tuition displaced not just by COVID, but now by the ash at critical times for some of them. And to that extent, I expect that all of the stakeholders will work seamlessly in the Ministry of Education to ensure that we are in a position truly to be able to reinforce and to close the gaps that might have existed over the course of the last year with respect to the education of our children.
Meanwhile, to give full legal effect to the new measures and extend the period of the state of emergency, Parliament will be recalled from the Easter break for a special session today. It will enable the extension of the state of emergency for 5 months. The announcement came from the Attorney General Dale Marshall during yesterday's update. Mr. Marshall says this is necessary to legally facilitate the newest directive, number 10, which goes into effect on April 27, 2021.
Parliament has been called back out from its Easter recess to meet tomorrow morning at 11:30 for the purpose of debating a resolution to extend this current state of emergency by a further 5 months. And so long as that resolution is approved, the state of emergency would continue from the 26th day of April until the 25th day of September.
In other news, the COVID-19 cluster connected to a church in the north of the island continues to generate concern from local health officials who have condemned the reckless actions of some people associated with it. It was just under a week ago when the Health Minister, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostick, made the plea for people associated with the church who were avoiding being tested to come forward. While he had some good news yesterday that some of them had responded to that call, he also admitted the country continues to be negatively affected as a result of the cluster.
Really and truly, if we are to successfully navigate this course in terms of COVID-19, then we depend on each and every one of us to be able to play our part. And we continue to be affected negatively by the fallout from the positive cases coming from that church. And I can only describe that kind of behavior and what we have observed as being irresponsible and reckless. It's behavior that we cannot tolerate, behavior that we would not like to see happening again in this country.
Minister Balsick also gave an update on COVID-19 cases identified among the security team at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, which have been linked to the church cluster.
We now have a total of 11 positive cases from the security guard section at the hospital, and there has been a link, and there is a link between the security guards and that cluster and this church as from the north. We also had 3 cases from the nursery, and all of those are being managed at this point in time with people being tested and awaiting second test results. But all of the cases and all of the institutions are connected to the church in the north.
There's some good news, meanwhile, for moviegoers and cinema owners. The Prime Minister has announced that both the drive-in and other cinemas will be allowed to reopen when the new directives go into effect from April 27th. Ms. Motley noted that specific protocols will have to be adopted by the cinemas.
They're subject to some very stringent protocols that have been established by the Chief Medical Officer and the COVID monitoring unit, including, I'm told, ensuring that no more than 25 persons remain in the concession area where food or drink are supplied within the cinemas or the drive-in at any one time. And those areas will be heavily monitored by the COVID monitoring unit.
We'll take a break here and come back with more COVID-19 updates. First, it was a COVID scare, then the ash fall. But these hurdles are not stopping Sharon Bellamy Thompson from ensuring the less fortunate in our society have food on their table. And this Good Samaritan is telling the Morning Report that even people who are considered quote-unquote middle class are now feeling the pinch of the pandemic and calling for help.
And I'm not finished here. I'm going to St. Lucie, I'm going to Christchurch and different places.
Sharon Bellamy Thompson is on the road again with yet another care package drive. This time the calls for assistance came from homes in Bush Hall, Whitehall and other districts in St. Michael. And it's not only those who are considered poor accepting the care packages. Sharon explains the level of unemployment is forcing more and more people to ask for help.
Here lately here comes the ash, and before that I was still doing lots of care packages from the corona time. So now the ash came in, you know, it's a bigger need now. People has been laid off, and you know, and people are just calling and, you know, being hurt. Some have come out of the comfort zone, being in pride, because, you know, there were many people who never ever in life had to ask for assistance, but with the constant layoff and you don't know what's next. It was the corona, now comes the ash, and you know, it's very difficult for some families.
Meanwhile, her appeal for corporate support has been well received, and local businesses have been stepping up to the plate.
The Amarono Charitable Trust, the Longview Associates, the Sandy Lane, and of course Popular Discount, Mr. Bertram Hall. He has been a tremendous blessing to this charity because he also know that I do a feeding program to feed and then to take up care packages. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. So he has been a great help to me. Carter's Bakery, who supplies the bread, and Nichols Bakery, and too numerous to mention. We have Hanchelinis on board, we have High Park, we have Amir's Chicken, we have Chickmunk, you know, lots of people.
And Sharon says the feeding program in the city continues despite the COVID-related setback.
It was shut off for like 2 weeks, and it worried me about those persons who I feed by the day. But now I am at 120 now, breakfast and lunch every day, and that has been going good. I set everything in order. I have my temperature gauge, I have my sanitizing session, which was donated to me by Fergus. So, you know, there's still people who have my back to make sure that the less fortunate is fed daily.
And it's this humanitarian's pledge to provide for anyone, no matter who they are, once the need arises. As it relates to Barbados' current figures with COVID-19, 9 new positive cases were recorded on Wednesday from the 365 tests carried out by the Best dos Santos Public Health Lab. Meanwhile, 12 people recovered and were discharged, leaving 84 people in isolation. Barbados' confirmed cases have moved to 3,806, and there have been 3,716 recoveries. To date, 71,350 persons have been vaccinated. Over in India, that country has recorded the world's highest daily tally of 314,835 new COVID-19 infections, as a second wave of the pandemic raised new fears about the crumbling health services' ability to cope. Health officials there across northern and western India, including the capital New Delhi, say they are in crisis, with most hospitals full and running out of oxygen.
Sitting outside New Delhi's biggest COVID-19 hospital, this man has been told all 1,500 beds are occupied. But he's refusing to leave. His ambulance driver says they travelled for 3 hours to come to the hospital, only to be turned away.
We were told that only if you have approval from top authorities, only then they will admit the patient and allow the ambulance inside. They denied us admission straight away. Now where do I take the patient? And the oxygen in the ambulance will finish soon.
Hospitals in India's capital are full. People arrive in ambulances, cars, scooters and auto rickshaws pleading for admission. But even the family members of those inside are worried about their loved ones. Abhishek's mother Rekha was admitted a week ago. He says he's only been able to speak to her once.
The situation is very grim here. No one is paying attention to patients. Hospitals are open only in name in this city, and the Chief Minister isn't giving any answers about this crisis. If we call the COVID helpline, no one answers. People can't even get ambulances. My question is that my mother has been admitted for 1 week, so who's taking care of her?
His sister is also distraught.
People are going inside the hospital and only their dead bodies are coming out. There was a baby and they denied him admission too, saying they cannot allow the child inside.
Delhi's health minister called the shortage of intensive care beds and oxygen supplies in the capital a grave crisis. He's asking the central government to help create more beds.
This woman has come here like so many others after being turned away by other hospitals. We have seen patients arriving at hospitals all day, struggling to breathe, being carried by desperate family members. New Delhi's High Court has asked the central government to send oxygen supply to the capital urgently. Its judges say the lives of thousands of people are at stake, and it's asked the government why it's not waking up to the situation.
The government says it's planning to import oxygen and ensure its uninterrupted delivery throughout the country. States are converting sports stadiums and halls into COVID-19 care centres, but not fast enough to match the world's biggest surge in cases. After waiting for an hour, this man was one of the lucky ones. His daughter convinced the hospital to admit him. Most others were turned away.
Time now to hear from Pearson what's coming up on today's edition of Morning Barbados. Pearson.
Thank you, Shane. When you join me shortly here on Morning Barbados, we'll be hearing an update from both co-coordinators of the National Vaccination Program as they begin to roll out the second doses. We'll talk to them a little bit about that and how it's going. Also today, the Caribbean Association of those with Alzheimer's will be meeting here in Barbados, and we'll hear a little bit more about that program. Plus, we'll get to meet the brains behind the book, Two Boats, How West Indian Workers on Ascension Island Helped NASA to Put 2 Men on the Moon. We'll talk to him about that creative process as well. So that and a whole lot more straight ahead on Morning Barbados. It's back to you, Shane.
And we'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk about the latest happening in St Vincent and the Grenadines with the La Soufrière volcano. The Seismic Research Center of the University of the West Indies said last night that the earlier eruption of the La Soufrière volcano is typical of the growth and destruction of lava domes. The SRC said the volcano, which began erupting on April 9th, had a vertical explosive eruption at 11:09 yesterday morning, generated by explosive activity, and it lasted for about 20 minutes. The SRC said in its evening bulletin that a vertical explosive eruption and the plumes rose slowly above the crater, eventually reaching a height of about 8 kilometers. During the initial stages of that explosion, a base surge known as pyroclastic density current was seen moving down the western flank of the volcano. PDCs are hot ground-hugging flows of ash and debris between 200 degrees Celsius and 700 degrees Celsius.
Live reports from St Vincent on the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano.
Brought to you with the compliments of Solar Dynamics, Corporators General Insurance and Crumbs Bakery.
Now, the volcanic eruptions in St Vincent are having a serious impact on the fishing industry there. Our Crystal Hoyt ventured into one of the villages to bring us this story.
Fishermen in St Vincent and the Grenadines are feeling the impact of the La Soufrière volcano explosively erupting. I visited the quaint fishing village of Clare Valley, where many of them who usually fished in what is now the red zone were forced to ply their trade elsewhere.
We who depend on the fishing, the fish to me like they migrated somewhere else. Like the sulfur has a great effect on them. But for the last 2 weeks, the fishing is real hard. And the last of the volcano make it worse. And the fish season is good. We sometimes catch between the average of 2 to 5,000 pounds in one catch. But right now, the average going to 0. The last week I told you to catch nothing.
Eli Slater says the color of the water has significantly changed.
The color of water right now is a dark gray. Okay? And as you swim, if you take off the diving glass off your face, you can feel the effect in your eyes.
Clifford Young reveals that the condition of the water has made it impossible for some fish to live.
Even the water itself warm. So that kill a lot of fish, especially in the north. So it make no sense going back down there now. It might take about 6 months or 7 or 8 months before that could happen.
Joel Bruce, a fisherman for decades, is unsure of how he will be able to provide for his family.
Well, this stuff keep me down a lot because I was fishing in the north in the red zone and I got to move all my net and come up here. They can't survive much in the warm water, you know? So they took for cover like deeper place, you know, because to my experience, I think the fish instinct told them that, something is coming, so they go to higher ground. Seems like if I got to move from here, I'll move from the red zone, come here.
As the volcano continues to erupt, the impact can be felt both on land and at sea. Reporting from Kingstown, St Vincent and the Grenadines, Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
Students in the School of Arts and Science at the St George's University in Grenada are planning a protest at the main entrance of the building. The protest is what they describe as a formal objection to a decision made by the institution which stipulates that all students, faculty, staff and vendors must be vaccinated against COVID-19 in order to be on the compound ahead of the start of classes in August. The protest scheduled for today will be on the day already designated as Vaccination Day by the university. According to the Vice-Chancellor Richard Leibowitz, Vaccination Day is being held in partnership with the Ministry of Health there in Grenada. Britain has apologized for failing to properly commemorate as many as 350,000 black and Asian service personnel who died fighting for the British Empire. The Commonwealth War Graves Commission issued an apology after an inquiry it commissioned found hundreds of thousands of mostly African and Middle Eastern casualties from World War I were not commemorated by name or at all.
The War Graves Commission found as many as 350,000 soldiers from minority groups weren't commemorated by name due to pervasive racism. Andrew Simmons has more from London.
We will remember them, a term used in British war memorials all over the world and cemeteries too. Soldiers recognised with inscriptions of their name. But for hundreds of thousands, that hasn't happened because of their colour. Those words, we will remember them, they simply don't apply. And furthermore, there has been no recognition of the problem until now. And what comes is this apology.
What is surprising and disappointing, however, is that a number of the mistakes, the number of casualties commemorated unequally, the number commemorated without names, and the number otherwise entirely unaccounted for, is not excusable. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission and the government both of the time and today, I want to apologise for the failures to live up to their founding principles all those years ago and express deep regret that it has taken so long to rectify the situation.
Most of the unnamed, unrecognised fallen soldiers are from Somalia, Egypt, East and West Africa, along with India. What can the government do to try and remedy the situation after more than 100 years? Well, it's going to be very difficult. There is a suggestion, a recommendation, that they reach out to the communities overseas in an effort to try and calm the waters. But that's highly unlikely to satisfy all of those who are so shocked by this admission.
In sporting news, team sports are now being allowed to practice and train as part of government's ease in COVID-19 restrictions. Prime Minister Mia Motley gave the update yesterday evening in an address to the nation, with the new practice protocols being applied for the next 3 weeks.
Sporting bodies must submit the intended protocols to the COVID monitoring unit for the prior approval of the unit. Having said that, we're not yet in a position to allow basketball, netball, wrestling, rugby or horse racing, and for different reasons. Yes, football and cricket can continue, but for practice, not tournaments. So over the course of the next 3 weeks, practice and training, spectators will not be allowed at any sporting activities. However, essential support personnel for the sporting training may be there. In the case of squash, I've been advised that the practice only means with only one person on the court at any given time, as opposed to both persons being there. And we would expect similarly that boxing and martial arts training can continue, subject to the following restrictions: that there is to be no contact bouts, non-contact shadow training is allowed, and non-contact work with coaches is also to be allowed.
In cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore remained the only unbeaten team in the IPL after yesterday's domination of Rajasthan Royals in Mumbai. Sent into bat, the Royals made a defendable 177 for 9. RCB, though, had a virtually flawless reply of 181 without loss off just 16.3 overs to win by 10 wickets. Player of the match was Devdutt Padikkal, was on 101 not out with 11 fours and 6 sixes, while the skipper Virat Kohli made 72, 6 fours and 3 sixes in that knot. Here are the highlights. Time now for a look at the weather. It will be mostly sunny on the outside today, with the temperature right now, though, at 26 degrees Celsius, nice and cool for now. It's feeling more like 28 degrees Celsius, though, with the relative humidity standing at 67%. Barometric pressure this morning is 1014 millibars, and those winds are blowing out of the east at 27 kilometers per hour. We'll get a high tide coming our way at 9 minutes to 1 in the afternoon. The low will be closer to 7:30 tonight. Those sea swells are calm to moderate in open water and peaking around 2 meters for now, but you can expect them to increase. Today it'll be mostly sunny with a few brief isolated light showers. And tonight it will be mostly clear here in Barbados with a few brief isolated light showers. This is the picture over the Lesser Antilles today and tonight. It will be fair to occasionally cloudy there with a few isolated light showers. And internationally, the sun is out in London, partly cloudy skies there. Only getting up to 14, a cool day, down to 5. In Frankfurt, the maximum is 15, the minimum 2 degrees Celsius. New York in double digits under cloudy skies, getting some rain as well, getting up to 26 degrees Celsius today in spring, down to 16. For Boston, it's 23, the maximum 12, the low. In Montreal, it's still pretty cool, 17, the high, 7, the low. And in Toronto, the sun is out, but only getting up to 13 degrees Celsius there. And that's where we wrap up this edition of the Morning Report. I'm Shane Seeley. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning, Barbados. Good morning to you wherever you are. Welcome to Friday the 23rd of April, 2021. I am Pearson Bowen. So glad you could join us. And to those of you also joining us on our online streams on our Facebook page, CBC Barbados, great having you company. And those of you on our YouTube channel as well, Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation on YouTube. Search, find us there. Good to have you too. Now, coming up today, you'll meet a young Barbadian woman who is making it from home with the use of her hands, and she's suddenly discovered her skill at crafting some miniature pieces and jewelry as well, so I can't wait to hear her story. Today, too, we'll hear from an evacuee in St Vincent and the Grenadines and how she's coping during this trying time for her. We'll also, after 7 this morning, be heading outside as we continue our Help SVG Drop and Drive. Yesterday was tremendous. We want today to be even better. So we're looking forward to your kind support. I'll be outside after 7. Hope you can pass on by and interact with us while we're there as well. But let's get started this morning by looking at our national vaccination program. We're joined today by both co-coordinators in Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand and Major David Clark. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mornin Pearson, Morning Barbados.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us and consenting to do so. We're in the new phase now of administering our second dose. But let's talk about the first phase. From both of you, how did that and your assessment go?
Elizabeth. Go ahead, David.
I let Doc go.
Good. Well, I think we're pretty happy about how the first one went. Barbadians have heeded the knowledge and have the knowledge and heeded the warning to come and get vaccinated, and they have come out in their numbers, and there are plenty people still waiting to have their vaccine. All it is for us to get more doses, and as soon as we get some more doses, we'll be giving them out as well. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Fantastic. Major Clark, from your point of view, how did the logistics go?
I think it went fairly well. I mean, we did just under 64,000 people. And in terms of logistics, a number of the sites worked extremely well. But we have had to revisit that now going into the next phase due to the volcanic ash. But I think it has gone very well. The teams have got better as the time has gone on, and they have gelled as a unit. And so I think we're now working much more efficiently than when we started.
So let's talk about the new campaign that you have. I know you've opened up now the possibility for those who are seeking vaccination to do so online. And this is for those who are who will be seeking their first vaccination. So tell us how that is going. How did that pilot phase work?
Well, the pilot phase worked wonderfully. Actually, we were hoping to open it up for 2 or 3 days, but by the end of the first day, it was totally subscribed. So yes, people are out there wanting to register, and they are registering, and the app seems to be working wonderfully.
So what's the next stage with this? Having completed the pilot, what's the next stage?
Well, certainly we need more vaccines in order to actually open it up totally. We piloted to make sure the systems were working properly. The app has a limited number of people, and it closes off after that number is filled for each location. So what the app allows people to do is to actually choose your location, your date, and your time. This could only work when we have a full stock of vaccines, and we could open all the sites so people can select the site that is closest to them, a time convenient for them, and a day convenient for them.
So let's look at second doses now, because obviously, as you've said, the ashfall has created a different kind of challenge. Now, a lot of it is indoor as opposed to previously when you've just opened up to outdoor. What accommodations have been made to ensure that the flow of foot traffic through for those vaccinations, is smooth and comfortable for most?
Well, we have moved to a total appointment system. And so we manage the flow of patients coming to the different sites as they're completely indoors. The idea is not to have people standing outside. So the management and the scheduling is important. So we're trying not to have people show up at the sites unless you receive an appointment. And once people stick to the appointment system, then there will be no lines. We've got seating. We've moved to indoor sites where we've got seating to cover those people. So people are seated and then they actually go to get the second dose. And of course, the process this time is much faster because you don't have to do the same record management and inventory as you had to do at the beginning process. And I think so far all the sites, people are very happy with the sites we have selected. We have created a number of sites that people are happy with, and we have selected locations that are easy for people to get to.
How are you dealing with those people who thought in the first phase that, they'd made an appointment, I wasn't called, I wasn't heard, nobody called me back to say I have an appointment, so they're turning up as they want to. I'm sure you want to discourage that.
Yes, we do. We're trying to do the appointment system to try and cut down the bunching and the, collecting of too many people at the same place at the same time, to stop the spread of any infection. Also want to cut down on your time. I mean, time is precious for everyone. And so we don't want them to be waiting too long. So really and truly, for the time being, we're asking people to be patient and to keep their appointment. That's another thing. People need to keep their appointment. Now, presently for the second phase, we are sending those appointments out by email, and that's the email that you gave us when you came for your first dose. And we're also calling those people who do not have an email. Sometimes we call, the number they've given us is the wrong telephone number. The email they've given us is the wrong email. Some people do not look at their email regularly. And there's only a couple of days before your appointment that you're going to get the email. So please, I'm asking you to check your emails. Telephone numbers, there's nothing much we can do about that at this time, but we are trying to get people to come to time and asking people to come because their second dose is very important.
If I have not seen the email, if I have given you an incorrect telephone number, and I'm so sorry about that, should I call the coordinating center to be able to clarify when my next dose is?
Most definitely. I would also like to add, when we started the process, we were giving people on their cards a 4-week return date. After the medical committee met, we changed the date, 8 to 12 weeks being the correct time. Of course, so we have to stagger people between 8 and 12 weeks, as if we made everybody 12 weeks, we would actually have a large group at the end. So we have to stagger people from 8 weeks. Some may get 8 weeks, some may get 9 weeks, most will get 10 weeks, some may get 12 weeks, but it's really a scheduling process because we have to have the first, second doses of the first phase completed by the end of May.
Why is there such a hard timeline by the end of May?
Because the vaccine is expiring on the 29th of May. So that's the first set of vaccines that we got. So we have to use them up before the 29th of May or they will expire and be no good. That's the race we have.
Mm-hmm. So I think everyone is a whole lot clearer. So it's critical that you check your emails, be sure that you answer your phone because you need to complete your dosage and appear for your second appointment. But don't rush the centers. You follow the protocols and you actually go on your appointment date and time. Dr. Ferdinand, for those who are still a little bit hesitant about a first dose, Let's talk a little bit about that. What's the relevance and the importance? It's not mandatory, but why should I step forward?
Well, it's very important because vaccination is one of the pillars of prevention. And we know we've been using masks and washing hands and distancing, but we want to add now vaccine to that vanguard. And the vaccine is going to improve your immune system to the COVID vaccine, to the COVID disease, and will help you, even if you do catch it, to not have such a bad attack as if you did not have the vaccine. That's one point. That's for you personally. Secondly, it is helping because the more people that are vaccinated, the less amount of infection will be being spread around. So less people are getting it, less diseases around the place, less chance of anyone else catching it. And it helps also to raise the herd immunity of the population so that there's not as many infectious persons around.
Major Clark, then, for those who would have done the vaccine.gov.bb, made that appointment for a first dose, you're going to be administering those as soon as those vaccines are readily available. But for the wider population, those who are now still seeking their first dose, when can we begin to make ourselves available through appointment?
Well, the appointment system we did with the trial, we are expecting vaccines to arrive. We don't have the actual date, but as soon as they arrive, it's a supply and demand issue. As soon as they arrive, we'll be able to open the website again. We usually have a quick turnaround time. Once we have entered them into the inventory, we can usually be up and running the next day. But in terms of numbers, you may be interested to know that we've actually done 71% of the over 70 population. That's 17,913 people. And we've actually done 49% of the population between 50 to 70. And in general, we have done 36% of the eligible population. So we are actually getting there. But it's really as soon as the next set of vaccines arrive, we'll definitely be able to open. But we haven't stopped giving first doses. We are actually doing some targeted groups we have different categories, and we're trying to get those people still vaccinated. So we have not stopped giving first doses, but to particular groups that help the economy get back to work. And we hope to have all of the second doses done well before the 29th of May.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to leave it right there. Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand, Major David Clark as well, with the National Vaccination Campaign. We want to commend you on the hard work you're doing, and because it does the country good. And we are looking forward to the next phase of the different implementations that you'll be making as well, to make the process a lot smoother for many of us, so that we can all get back to breathing a little bit easier, so to speak, and be comfortable in our living as within a herd immunity situation. Thank both of you for coming to us here on Morning Barbados today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. After this break, we'll be back with more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I think at some point in our lifetime, most of us will get to know someone who's living with Alzheimer's disease. And so today we want to take some time to look at that particular condition. And we're happy to be joined this morning by the president of the Barbados Alzheimer's Association in Pamelia Brereton. Good morning to you, Pamelia. Good to see you again.
Glad to see you as well.
And next to you is Carissa Nichols, who is the director of the youth arm of the Barbados Alzheimer's Association. Carissa, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start with you, Carissa. How does it feel to be the leader of the youth arm, and why did you get involved?
I got involved because there are family members and family friends who have been affected by this disease. And I mean, it's a huge responsibility at this young age to be the head of the youth arm, but I'm taking it every day, one day at a time.
Explain to me your experience with relatives who have Alzheimer's.
It was mostly because I had to care for them as well as some of the family friends as well. So I really and truly got to see what it was kind of like dealing with family members who had Alzheimer's, and it's quite a difficult disease to deal with.
Could you tell us a bit about some of those experiences? You said you described them as difficult. So what was so difficult about it?
Because when you have a loved one, it's like they're physically there, but mentally you see them like deteriorating nearly every year. So like, you know, it's them, but at the same time, they're not always there anymore because of the disease. So it can be difficult to care for somebody who, you know, loves you on some level, but then they just don't remember you, or they can't remember anything about you. So that can be a really difficult experience to go through.
Yes, it has to be. I know, Pamelia, you have been championing this cause for quite some time, Pamelia Brereton, as president of the Barbados Alzheimer's Association. Do you get a sense that there is a greater understanding of how to manage the disease Alzheimer's?
It's getting there, because I find there are still a lot of people that reluctant to talk about the disease, the stigma attached to the disease. And particularly here in our country, people tend to hide the disease up quite a bit, not realizing that it's something that has to be talked about, because as we get older, all kinds of strange things happen, and I can tell you that because I am getting older. However, it's so wonderful, if you don't mind me going a little bit ahead of your question. It's so wonderful to have young people on board, because I find a lot of young people are also caring for their relatives. And to me, when Carissa came on, I thought, well, gee, this is wonderful. Let's get moving, because they have to realize that at some point in time in their life, they too might inherit the disease, and it is hereditary, and people need to understand that. I know in our situation here in the association, we have people that come on board and they're there for a while, but once the person has passed on, it's like it's forgotten. And I really wanted to get this out of my system. It is not gone, because then you are number one, number two, number three, number four, considering this disease is hereditary. So I like to see people stay on board, because it's all about them. It's not just a disease that's happening on a one-time thing. It has to be continued, and you have to be also prepared that it could happen to you next.
Absolutely, but conditioning one's self to handling and managing a relative who has Alzheimer's is not easy, as Carissa would have said, because they are literally changing before your very eyes, and so the support is also very, very critical. And Carissa, I'm glad, because you're young, and no doubt you want to be able to reach out to other young people so that they have a greater understanding, so that the frustration doesn't build when you encounter a relative with. So how do you think you can begin to sensitize other young people about the disease and how to manage it?
About the disease, it's really and truly just looking out for the signs like early on, because the earlier you can catch it, the better it is for you. Because when you know what it is early on, you don't get so frustrated with your family member by the fact that they just keep forgetting, or there's certain things that they can't do anymore, or just don't understand. So if you can understand why they're behaving that way, like a lot of frustration will kind of go,
But then the next part is dealing with them every single day, and the frustration kind of still builds because on one hand you do get it, but on the other hand it's like so difficult because it's just like I would just wish you would remember, but you just can't anymore.
Yes. And making yourself available for other young people, though, because, you know, I'm getting on in age, so they might not want to call me, but they see someone like yourself who's like them in their age cohort, and they figure, let's talk. So what kind of activities and fora would you want to have so that they can feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, that's exactly why I started this youth arm, because when I was experiencing it for the first time, I didn't really feel like there was support for people my own age. So in terms of support, I really and truly just want to create a community for everybody to just come speak about it, say like what's difficult, and then kind of share ideas of what everybody else has been doing that has helped them manage. Because there's something that I may be doing that might not be working, but if somebody suggests something to me, it might actually work for my loved one. So really and truly just creating a community, reaching out on social media and kind of things like that. And then you can also reach out on our website as well if you need any help, because somebody will get back to you.
And then, Pamelia, from the Caribbean perspective, because as Carissa would have just said, just reaching out and being able to come together and share one's experiences as well. You have upcoming that Caribbean conference on Alzheimer's. Let's talk about what we can expect and who are some of the people, what's going on. How are you planning out that?
Well, as you know, everything is virtual these days. And we have about 16, I believe, Carissa, 16 presenters that will be at the conference, including the CEO for Alzheimer's Disease International, who we've partnered with. We have Dr. Sherko, who is one of the leaders in the field of dementia, coming from Canada. He's on there as well. And a number of other presenters from Canada, the America, England, and the region. So it's covered all around. We also are expected to have other ministers and so on board. We haven't quite confirmed all of them as yet. But considering it's a regional conference, we thought it might be nice to reach to everyone. And we're really looking forward to this conference because, you know, in the region, we have over 300,000 people who have Alzheimer's. And those numbers by 2050 are going to be about 1 million. And that's an awful lot for the Caribbean region. There are 50 million people in the world who have Alzheimer's disease. By 2050, there are going to be 131.5 people suffering from Alzheimer's disease. And of course, you know, with COVID now, it has covered everything. So a lot of people are not really getting or hearing much about what's supposed to be done with dementia. And there are a lot of answers that you will find coming out of the conference, especially in terms of research, because that is something that is quite, you know, worked on right now. And I believe our doctor will be able to explain a lot more about that on the day of the conference. So it's 2 days, the 7th and the 8th of May.
Right. Information is empowering, so it's very important. And for more information, you can go to the website alzbarbados.com, alzbarbados.com, alzbarbados.com. And of course, once you're there, you can send off and let's chat as well and get more information on the upcoming Caribbean conference in May. The sooner you register, the sooner it is for you to be able to access this information. And the data, the research is going to help guide your process going forward. It's better to know than not to know, right, Pamelia? It's so much more important.
Absolutely, yes. You can also go on the Facebook and see we have a flyer there where you can sign up for the conference as well. But there's so much to say with dementia, but you know, even through the COVID, and I would really love to chat more about that because I have been receiving a lot of calls with persons who are having issues and dealing with their family members and so on, especially those ones that like to take walks and so on and don't want to keep the mask on. I mean, it goes on and on. My phone rings sometime at 11 o'clock at night. I don't mind because that's what I've signed up my life for. But unfortunately, it's a very sad situation out there, and I would like people to take more heed and pay more attention to this disease because God knows, you never know when it's your turn.
That's right. It's difficult to manage, you know, and the thing is that physically they're healthy, but just mentally they're quite not there. And not to mistreat them because oftentimes that's what people tend to do. In their own frustration, they reach their point where they want to mistreat. And that's your loved one. When you still look into their face, though they may not see yours, they are still your loved one. And it's just to find a state of understanding so that you're patient enough to go right the way through. So don't forget to go register for the upcoming 6th Regional Caribbean Conference of Alzheimer's Disease International right here. And you can just go onto the website alzbarbados.com or the Facebook page to get more information. And I really want to encourage young people to join, right? Carissa, the youth arm of the Alzheimer's Association.
Yes, yes, for sure.
It is so important.
I do think it's really difficult when you're a young person dealing with this because there's not really a community set up yet to kind of deal with it and get support that you need. Because older people might not understand what you're going through, but I think as a younger person, you'll be able to relate to another younger person.
Absolutely. And it's a day-by-day encounter. So the more information and the better you're armed, the easier it is to manage. Thank you so much, Pamelia. As you said, there's much more we can talk about, and surely our producers will be reaching out to you and your association as we continue to bring greater awareness to this disease, dementia, Alzheimer's. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. All right, let's take a look now at today's good decision of the day. Brought to you by Glucerna, with nutrients to support your immune system. Recognize bias. Oh boy, look at this one. Sometimes you're not aware that you hold bias in certain areas. Everyone has bias, so this is nothing unusual. However, if you fail to recognize your bias, your choices will reflect your bias and not be as effective as they could be. If you need help in this area, ask a trusted friend to tell you what they believe to be your biases so that you can make allowances for that prior to making a weighted decision. We all have biases, so the sooner we recognize what those biases are, then it's so much easier for us to make the right decision. So let that today be your good decision of the day, to recognize your bias. Brought to you by Glucerna, nutrients to support your immune system. We're taking a break right here. When we come back, the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Don't forget, our Help SVG Drive and Drop continues today at 7 o'clock in just less than 30 seconds. And until 5:30 this afternoon, we'll also be outside again receiving your donations to Help SVG tomorrow, Saturday as well. So do feel free to walk in, drive in, push your push cart, whatever it is. And we'll be happy to receive everything, because everything helps to bring some restoration to normalcy to those who've been impacted by the volcanic ash fall in St Vincent and the Grenadines. So do come by from 7 this morning till 5:30 this afternoon to be a part of our Help SVG Drive and Drop. It's 7 o'clock. Time for the news. Here's Shane Seeley.
Yes, here's your 7 a.m. headline news. There's been another ease in COVID-19 restrictions with a slight reduction of curfew hours here in Barbados. While Monday to Wednesday continue to be without curfew, from Thursday to Sunday, the curfew will now start an hour later at midnight and end at the usual 5 in the morning. New measures, which will go into effect from the 27th of this month, will also see a return to communion and baptisms being allowed for churches, but with specific protocols. In a national address last evening, Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley also announced a further delay in the return of in-person classes, with schools now returning to online classes from April 27th instead.
This morning, the Minister of Education's officials, I think, met with the unions and recognized that given the state of cleanup across the 74 schools, we are not yet ready to be able to have children back in the school plant next week. And to that extent, there were a number of issues that they confronted as they reflected. There was still a high level of dust in the environment, and even where cleaning had started, as many of you are discovering, as many of us are discovering, that the breeze still blows through and is blowing dust back into areas at a high level, especially where there are big open areas, and most schools have pastures next to them.
The Prime Minister adds that low water pressure and unavailability of water at some schools have also been issues. Meanwhile, to give the full legal effect to the new measures and extend the period of the state of emergency here, Parliament will be recalled from the Easter break for a special session today. It will enable the extension of the state of emergency for 5 months. The announcement came from the Attorney General Dale Marshall during yesterday's update. He says this is necessary to legally facilitate the newest directive, number 10, which goes into effect from April the 27th.
Parliament has been called back out from its Easter recess to meet tomorrow morning at 11:30 for the purpose of debating a resolution to extend this current state of emergency by a further 5 months. And so long as that resolution is approved, the state of emergency would continue from the 26th day of April until the 25th day of September.
As it relates to Barbados' current COVID-19 figures, there were 9 new positive cases recorded on Wednesday from the 365 tests carried out by the Best dos Santos Public Health Lab. Meanwhile, 12 people recovered and were discharged, leaving 84 people in isolation. Barbados' confirmed cases have moved to 3,806. There have been 3,716 recoveries and 44 COVID-19 deaths. To date, 71,350 persons have been vaccinated. First it was the COVID scare and then the ashfall, but these hurdles are not stopping Sharon Bellamy Thompson from ensuring that she gets less fortunate people the food that they need. And this Good Samaritan is telling the Morning Report that even people who are considered middle class are now feeling the pinch of the pandemic and calling for help.
And I'm not finished here. I'm going to St Lucie, I'm going to Christchurch and different places.
Sharon Bellamy Thompson is on the road again with yet another care package drive. This time the calls for assistance came from homes in Bush Hall, Whitehall and other districts in St Michael. And it's not only those who are considered poor accepting the care packages. Sharon explains the level of unemployment is forcing more and more people to ask for help.
Here lately, here comes the ash, and before that I was still doing lots of care packages from the corona time. So now the ash came in, you know, it's a bigger need now. People has been laid off, and you know, and people are just calling and, you know, being heard. Some have come out of the comfort zone, being in pride, because, you know, there were many people who never ever in life had to ask for assistance, but with the constant layoff and you don't know what's next. It was the corona, now comes the ash, and you know, it's very difficult for some families.
Meanwhile, her appeal for corporate support has been well received, and local businesses have been stepping up to the plate.
The Amarono Charitable Trust, the Longview Associates, the Sandy Lane, and of course Popular Discount, Mr. Bertram Hall. He has been a tremendous blessing to this charity, because he also know that I do a feeding program, to feed and then to take up care packages. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. So he has been a great help to me. Carter's Bakery, who supplies the bread, and Nichols Bakery, and too numerous to mention. We have Hanchelinis on board, we have High Park, we have Amir's Chicken, we have Chickmunk, you know, lots of people.
And Sharon says the feeding program in the city continues despite the COVID-related setback.
It was shut off for like 2 weeks, and it worried me about those persons who I feed by the day, but now I am at 120 now, breakfast and lunch every day, and that has been going good. I set everything in order. I have my temperature gauge, I have my sanitizing session, which was donated to me by Fergus. So, you know, there's still people who have my back to make sure that the less fortunate is fed daily.
And it's this humanitarian's pledge to provide for anyone, no matter who they are, once the need arises. And that's your 7 a.m. headline news. I'm Shane Seeley. Back over to you, Pearson.
Shane, thank you. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock now, so the drive has started for the day. That's right. We are already up and running here at the CBC in our Help SVG Drive and Drop. So let's get going. Let's start bringing your donation items here to the CBC. We're taking a break. When we come back, the crumbs question of the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It is 8.5 minutes after 7 o'clock now. Time for today's crumbs question of the day. You get on the phones right now and give us a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's see if you can correctly answer today's crumbs question of the day. So when you call, you'll be interacting with our producers. They'll let me know when we have a winner. So your crumbs question of the day today, Friday, is what is sold at Crumbs Bakery and can be found in Crispy's snack box? What is sold at Crumbs Bakery and can be found in Crispy's snack box? Do you know? Sure you know. Call us on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Correctly answer that question. What is sold at Crumbs Bakery and can be found in Crispy's snack box? You'll be a winner immediately with crumbs, and of course, it's so simple. So do call us now, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's make a winner out of you. Let's turn the pages now to our next chapter where we meet another Barbadian author. He is Arnold Ward. There he is. Good morning to you, Arnold.
Hi, good morning, Pearson.
Good to see you. And again, congratulations on your various publications.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
You're very welcome. Now, you've got a couple new ones out that we really want Barbadians to know about. And the one I'm particularly fascinated by is Two Boats, How West Indian Workers on Ascension Island Helped NASA Put a Man on the Moon. Tell me about that one.
Yes, I was, in my teens, I don't think I was 20 yet, when my brother, he went over to Ascension Island. And I didn't think much about it, only he went, and then he came back and then went again. It's only recently I said, I wonder what they were doing over there. And I looked at YouTube, I looked all over, and I can't seem to find anything about it. So I decided to have an interview with him. And his name is Rod Parkinson Ward. And he went through it. He spoke a lot. The whole interview is in the book, is in the publication. And he, there it is, how was new. And then as I did more and more checking, I found out that basically what they were building a space station, a communication network for persons who the astronauts, when they went to the moon, to return. And the communication network was very, very vital. You know what I mean? And so what these West Indian workers were doing, they were assisting in a very vital area. And it's not only workmen and spade people, hewers of wood and drawers of water, but there were also technicians, there were policemen, there were all sorts of, probably some clerical officers and so on who went down there to work on this project.
So while there's a historical perspective on that project, how is it written? Is it written like a history book, or is it written like a novel? What's the style?
It's more or less the personal, human interest sort of aspect, because to get proper information was very difficult, because this was 1965 during the Cold War years, and this was the space race. So apparently a lot of it was hush-hush. And I went to the library to see if we can get something from the Barbados end, the Advocate and so on. But unfortunately, their machine, their microfilm machine is not working. So I couldn't really get to look at the old newspapers and so on to see what was being said at the time. But I did get some information from the Times of London, and they had one or two, some very enlightening articles in there that I was able to quote from.
You know, for most of us, you can hear a story, you thought, oh, that's interesting, and you leave it there. But then you decided, no, oh, that's interesting, let me know more. And not just know more, but write it down and make a novel out of it. So where did all of this drive and gravitas come from?
Well, I'm sorry that I didn't come before, because my brother, he is 80 years old now. And a lot of these gentlemen who went over, probably a lot of them probably passed by now. So I couldn't get as much as I would have liked. But his story, he still remembered a lot. I mean, I was really amazed by the details that he remembered. And so the story is very interesting. But what the aspect about the importance of the mission, I mean, that's really fascinating. You know, to think that, and you could imagine as a young West Indian leaving these lush, beautiful islands here in the Caribbean and going over to dry, and we've had a bit of it, volcanic dust. So over there, this is an island about as large as, say, St. Philip. And it is full of nothing but volcanic dust. It is, you can walk from one end to the other. It's desolate. There are sharks in the water. You can't go for a swim. It was something else. So, and there are a whole lot of men, not many women. The women that were there, you couldn't interfere. If you talk to them, you know, that's what he said. You could get put in prison if you talk to the women that were over there. So it was a really difficult situation.
Wow, indeed so. And then there's another novel that you've written, Uncle Arnold's Big Children's Stories. Tell us about that one.
Well, the big children's stories, some stories that I've written over the years. So I thought I would put them in this collection. And also the poems, don't forget stories and poems, because included in the poems is one that called A King, and I got a prize from CBC in 1993.
Wow.
For that poem, it tells the story of a young man he's bathing in the river in Africa, and he's captured and he's brought to the Caribbean. But the poems are fairly simple, you know, they're not really these heavy, complex poems. It's just more or less iambic pentameter sort of thing. But youngsters will enjoy that because remember, as a child, I used to spend hours reading how Horatius kept the bridge. You know, that was one of my favorites. I don't know if you remember that one.
Of course.
Yeah, that was one of my. I just love to sit down and read up for hours and hours. I think it's Macaulay or something wrote it. Yes, that's the book there.
Right, Uncle Arnold's Big Children's Stories and Poems by Arnold F. Ward. And so these books of yours are available how? Can we go into, I mean, the bookstores, we know they're opening back up now, but how can we access your pages?
Well, to get them in the bookstores is difficult now. Before you could order in the books and get them, but I find that the charges now, the rates that these different carriers and so on are charging to bring in this stuff is very, very high. So you can't really do it as you would like to get them in the bookstores and so on. But they are available on Amazon, and if you like, you can. There's a link on my Facebook page. I know you have Facebook viewers, and my Facebook page, the handle is Knock and Wait. So just go to www.facebook.com and /knock and wait. It's all one word, knock and wait, all one word. And you will go to get to my page. I hope you go to the page and you like it too, because there's a lot of stuff there that you would enjoy. And also you'll see the link to get to my author's page on Amazon, where you can look at the books and sample them and read the reviews. I got some excellent reviews.
Fantastic.
And also purchase and maybe write your own review.
I like your name, Knock and Wait. Tell me about that. Why did you call it that, Knock and Wait?
Well, to be quite honest, it does have some significance, but it also, I was passing, driving in the bus, and I saw this, you know, we call it gate door, the all galvanized things that people have. You peel in, and then there's this gap, and on it, there's somebody had a big red ink, Knock and Wait, not red paint, Knock and Wait. So I said, well, that was really great because it also has other meanings.
I love it. It is really, really hilarious. And it's so us. Knock and wait. Yes, don't just knock and push.
The book was quite popular. Got good reviews in The Advocate and all over. Even on Amazon. On Amazon, and a lady wrote a wonderful review. And after yesterday, I delivered one to a gentleman who's running me down for a copy. So I said, all right, I'll deliver it, and I delivered it to him.
And these novels are available and they're affordable as well. So folks, we want to encourage you to head over to the Knock and Wait page. You'll find the link to the Amazon page where you can actually purchase these and read these fascinating stories as written through the eyes and the gaze of Arnold F. Ward. And when you do, you can leave your review. I'm sure that you'll be fascinated by what you're reading. You'll be kind enough to leave your own review as well. Mr. Ward, Arnold,
and the reviews doesn't have to be an essay, just 2 or 3 lines.
Correct.
You know, I would also like to suggest, Pearson, that on the Mornin Barbados program, you celebrate. Maybe you have a day when you celebrate local writers, or maybe a week or every once a week, and you get local writers to come and maybe read a little bit of their stuff or read a short story or something.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I know we already do that on radio on 94.7, the best 24/7 or 100% Bajan station. And we do have opportunities, no doubt, on Bajan TV to be able to expose our literary arts and creatives as well. So I want to thank you, though, for joining us this morning. And I really want, in leaving you, to encourage all Barbadians to find the book, buy the book, read the book, and you'll find some excellent insight into the mind of Arnold F. Ward, but great stories as well, and poems. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Pearson.
You are very welcome. All right, 19.5 minutes after the hour now. Very soon I'll be heading outside to look and see how we're doing with our drive and drop this morning. If you want to be on TV, you can come down while we're outside in just a little bit. But let's get to our answer to today's Crumbs question of the day. Let's see if we have an answer and a winner. What is sold at Crumbs Bakery and can be found in Crispy's snack box? That's the question. What is it? Sold at Crumbs Bakery but can also be found in Crispy's snack box. I too want to know. So what is the answer today? The answer is the sweet bun. Sweet bun. Sharianne de Pisa, you're absolutely right. Something tells me you go to both Crispy's and Crumbs Bakery. So Sharianne de Pisa, well done. Correctly answering sweet bun. You are today's winner. Someone from Crumbs Bakery will be making contact with you, Sherry Ann, to make arrangements on how you can collect your winnings from Crumbs Bakery. It is the sweet bun baked at Crumbs, available at Crumbs, also available in the Crispies snack box. That's our Crumbs question and winner of today. We're going to take a break right here. When we come back, compliments Pediasure, you know the little ones get a chance to spell it.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's time for Spell It with Pediasure. Are you going to spell it in 30 seconds?
So let's see if you can. You know what to do right now. For those tots to teens up to 19 years old, your turn to spell it. Compliments of Pediasure. Pediasure, great for the little ones. They're going to restore those nutrients that they tend to want to run away from, but they love the taste. It's so delicious in chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla flavors. And once they drink it, you'll be comfortable in your mind that they are getting just what the body needs, and their immune system as well needs to be able to be boosted. So give us a call right now, tots to teens up to 19 years old. Call us on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Somebody's already there. Hi there. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hi. What's your name?
Nathan Otley.
Nathan Otley. Nathan, how old are you?
12.
12. Oh boy, I got to look for a big word for you, Nathan. Here's your word, Nathan. Are you ready for this?
Yes, please.
You have 30 seconds. You can make a mistake. It's all right. You just have to use your 30 seconds wisely. Your word is comedian. 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 Can you spell it like a funny, crazy, people who make you laugh? A comedian? Spell that in 30 seconds.
C-O-M-E-D-I-A-N.
Correct. Correct, Nathan. You're absolutely right. That's the correct spelling of comedian. C-O-M-E-D-I-A-N. Nathan, stay on the line. What school do you go to? Nathan disappeared?
Pardon me?
Nathan, what school do you go to?
Christchurch Foundation.
Oh, just up the road from where we are as well. Well, congratulations, Nathan. Someone will be connecting with you right now, so don't put down the phone. We'll get some information from you because you're today's winner. Compliments Pediasure in our Spell It.
That was Spell It, brought to you in association with Pediasure.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 26 minutes after 7 o'clock now. The next guest who will join us right here, who's making it from home, literally pours her heart into making some delightful pieces that all of us can be moved by, but most of us can actually use. We're joined this morning by this very creative young woman. Look at her right there. Look. Her name is Sharisa Holmes. Sharisa, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
I am okay.
See, we're wearing the national colors. I'm wearing my blue. You're wearing your yellow. You have your black hair. I wouldn't want to describe
my coat of arm earrings.
Yeah, see, so we're both on the same page as well. Did you make those? Did you make those earrings?
Yes, please. Yes.
Wow, you really wear what you make.
I do.
And
I
I'm told,
do.
yeah, I'm told in reading your story that you are self-taught. Girl, you are good.
Yes.
You are good because, you know,
Thank you.
I'm stunned at how you're able to do so. So what is it that you do and what is it that you taught yourself to do?
Okay, so I sculpt miniatures from polymer clay. Polymer clay is, I describe it like Play-Doh. It's similar consistency. It is a medium with which you can manipulate multiple times, but once finished, you bake the creation so that it preserves the details. And yeah, so back in, I think, 2015, I discovered polymer clay. And ever since, I was just obsessed with making many things, especially Bajan-inspired items.
Yes. Like the earpieces you're wearing. And these are turtles?
Yes.
And this is made from the same girl, listen, you're affecting my hunger right now. This is actually polymer clay, and this looks so real.
Thank you.
Wow.
But yes, it is polymer clay.
My goodness. And there it is with the standpipe and the jerking board and the wash pan. These are brilliant. And these are earrings?
Yes.
Sweet. The lamp as well. You know, we all have, well, not you, you're too young to have had these days of reading under the oil lamps and so forth. And these are pieces of decorative art that people actually can wear. They're wearable. This is great.
Yes.
And who could ever forget our old-time buses, the diesel buses, you know, that we would have driven in times past. So you really spend time sitting down and thinking through what you do.
Yes.
So how long
it's definitely,
have you...
It's definitely a lot of work. It requires a lot of patience and time. Yeah.
Wow, girl. How long have you been doing this now?
About four and a half years.
For about 4.5 years now. So would you say, you obviously now think yourself to be very creative. This is something you probably never thought you would have been dabbling in at all. So what got you started?
No. I always loved quirky jewelry, so I would wear like light bulbs and hangers. So when I stumbled upon polymer clay, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can actually create anything that I want to wear.
Yes,
quite literally. So especially Bajan items. Yeah, I think that's really exciting to be able to represent my culture and create that on my own.
Amen to that one, girl. I stamped my foot here in the studio in agreement with you. But you know, it's one thing to be able to pick up another person's creation and to find a way to reuse it. You're actually now beginning the process and creating it fresh and new. And I can't think of anybody that's in this market space who has what you do.
There are a couple other persons who use polymer clay, but no one who, well, to my knowledge, that make miniatures. Well, 3D sculpted miniatures like this.
Look at that. Look at that. The lady in the marketplace sitting before her tray under her umbrella with those delicious looking pieces and slices of watermelon, bananas, breadfruit. This is so real life. And looking, it is beautiful. Look at what you're doing.
Thank you.
So for anyone watching today who says, you know, I want a piece of that, how can they reach you?
Typically on Instagram. I now have a website which is called reesesminiatures.com. But people can easier find me on Instagram. You can send me a DM or send me an email at reesesminiatures@outlook.com.
We're going to put up all of that information on the bottom of the screen, right, Nadia? Because, you know, it's so much to remember. But this is really, really beautiful work that you're creating. And you do all of this from the space in your home?
Yes.
Wow. So, self-teaching, because it no doubt required you to make some errors. You tried, you made some errors, you still crush it up again, and you go as you go as well.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, that's it. But then, was there any, though you're self-taught, was there any, at any time when you referred to anyone else's formal training so that you can, you know, be shown how to do this or do that?
No, it's a pretty big market overseas. So I would watch YouTube videos, especially when I started. But with respect to Bajan items, there's nobody that does the same thing on a miniature scale, especially. So yeah, there's nobody else for me to go. So I really just figured it out. And I think that's what I loved about working with polymer clay. The discipline, the patience, the having to be resilient and keep going and trying at it to perfect my craft, you know.
Right. So is it just jewelry that you make?
No, I do general keepsakes, so key rings, mugs, decor items. Typically, I get a lot of custom orders for unique items, so it's not just jewelry.
All right. Yeah. This is great work. I am fascinated and pleased. And there you go with the flag of St. Vincent, because I'm no doubt you are also sparing a thought for those in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I understand that you did a tribute video to our friends and relatives there as well. Perhaps we can play that now, so we take a look and we'll come back and talk to you right after as to why you did it and what was involved in all of that. So if we can, let's share this tribute video from Sharisa.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know,
Look at that. You're showing me here now, Sharisa, the process in getting it all together using the national colors of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right?
Yes.
And this is what the polymer clay looks like? Like plasticine, as we used to call it? You call it Play-Doh now?
Pretty much. Yeah.
So literally anyone can, it's easy to do. It's a wonderful piece of art that anyone with a child can work along and get done, right? And have some fun as a family.
Definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
And so this is done in tribute to our friends and relatives and those who we know well in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to those who are going through their moment in time right now. So you've done the flag and you've done it in earrings. What other forms can we access this creation in support of the folks in St. Vincent?
It can be made into technically anything. It could be placed on mugs. It could be key rings. Yeah, it's pretty versatile.
Good. So it's as simple as calling you, contacting you, and saying what we want, and then voila, your mind takes over from there.
Yes.
You are so creative. What do your friends say about you and all of your creativity?
Well, they use that same word, which it took me a while to grasp, because honestly, I didn't see myself as being creative. I just thought I was disciplined.
Right.
Because it is a lot of patience. But I never considered myself an artist or anything like that. It's now that I am starting to redefine how I see myself.
Yes. Do you have time for all of this, though? Because you said it takes patience. What else do you do?
Does it? I have a 9-to-5.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that in and of itself is a lot, because when you come home and then it's time to sculpt or make orders, it definitely does take a lot of time. But for something that you're passionate about, it doesn't seem as overwhelming.
Have you got to the stage where you say to yourself almost day by day, you know what, I can't wait to get home because I can't wait to sculpt?
Yes. There are days like that.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
Just an escape.
You do some handmade sentimental pieces, some in 3D detail. You do all of this. Look at this, look, the mixing bowl. I love this. This is really fantastic. So key rings, earrings, some other signature pieces, all of these Risa can actually do. And I'm using that word Risa deliberately because it's part of your name on your social media. So spell out that so that when we go search on social media, we can find you.
RESASMINIATURES, Risa's Miniatures.
Risa's Miniatures. It is beautiful. I am stunned. Look at this right there, everybody. RESAS Miniatures. RESAS Miniatures. This is on her Instagram page. And are you also available on Facebook?
Technically, I have a Facebook page, but I would say mainly Instagram right now.
Instagram. And you also have a website, risasminiatures.com. She's creative. She does all of these tiny decorative arts. So you can wear them in your ears. You can have them on your keys, with your keys, your bunch of keys. They are just really, really good. She says polymer clay for her is fun. And so if you need to preserve that memory, consider Risa's Miniatures, and Risa can help you stock it in. I love it, and I hope that you are inundated by calls for orders starting today, Risa. Sharisa, I really want to thank you so much for joining us on Morning Barbados. It is great work, and it's our pleasure to be able to showcase all of this to Barbadians here and everywhere. And, you know, well done, well done.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Her name is Sharisa Holmes, and she is just really, really good. So I really want to wish you all the best, Sharisa, and I really want to commend her to you. So take some time to explore her art. We're going to take a break right here. When we come back, I'm going to be outside. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hello, my fellow Barbadians. My name is Brianna Hadaway, and I'm a Vincentian student here studying at the University of the West Indies, Cave campus. On April 10th, the La Soufrière volcano erupted in all her might and displaced over 20,000 persons in my homeland, St Vincent. With this comes many challenges like access to food, water, and other essential items for those who are displaced. I'm encouraging you to come down and join the CBC Help SVG Drive and Drop initiative this Thursday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We look forward to your continued support. Everything counts. Thank you.
That's right, Brianna. Every bit counts. And we want to encourage you as we've started our drop and drive for day 2 right here in the car park of the CBC. We really want you to come on down. And when you come, bring your things. Bring your things because every bit counts. We're not taking clothing anymore. Right, Nicole? Good morning to Nicole Batiste.
Good morning.
I know about that Batiste word, Collins.
It's okay, especially for the calls.
Yeah, let's talk about day 1.
Yeah.
Boy, we had a lot of fun, I think, in helping SVG.
We did. We did. I felt really good to see the response of Barbadians. Barbadians from all walks of life turned up to CBC yesterday to donate to this worthy cause. And we are truly appreciative.
You know, yesterday we heard some stories as well from those who came by to make their donations. One in particular I was really pleased about was a man who I saw pushing one of the supermarket trolleys, and I thought, is he coming here? Where is he going with that? And when he told me his story, he said he came all the way from the Bayland walking and pushing his trolley to make his donation. And not only to make his donation, but to say, do you need any more volunteers?
Yes. Yes.
That to me moves me in an immense way.
Yes, Pearson. We had a lot of touching stories yesterday, and one for me was Maylene from St. Lucie, who has no transportation. She took the bus, she made a stop, got her items, and then she took the express bus, I think it is, over to CBC, and she walked in and she donated her items. And that's truly remarkable to see that Barbadians have heeded to the call for the help for our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent.
She didn't just bring her items, she actually gave us the bags. She said, we're going to need those bags.
Yes, definitely.
And that's the beauty of the whole thing, that people are generously giving.
Yes.
And they're giving from everything. There was a gentleman who drove up yesterday, by the way, and he says, this is all I have in my cupboard right now, but I coming back.
Yes.
Because he was going to dash off then to the supermarket to get some more items, non-perishable items as well.
Yes, definitely.
I know we're getting a lot. We got yesterday a lot of clothing, so we're closed on that, right?
Yes, we've reached our quota for clothing as it stands for this effort, but we still want water, because water definitely is needed. We still want adult diapers, feminine hygiene products, cleaning agents. You can do canned items as well. If you can get a hose, a shovel, those things that can help, the Clorox, the Fabuloso, any of those type of things, definitely we will be appreciative of.
And it's the weekend, a number of you are heading to the supermarket. So as you're in the supermarket, you're walking the aisles, spare a thought for the folks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Those canned, tinned foods, that are easy. I'm not going to call it a particular product, but those are fish in cans and tins, tunas and so forth.
Yes.
Those are also important resources that we can take.
And one of the things too is that we actually have, what we're doing is we're packing the boxes, we're sorting them. So things like hot beverages, your hot chocolate, a box of hot chocolate, your coffee, your tea bags, those sort of things, milk, creamer, those sort of things are definitely needed because they will go a long way.
I love the stories. I love the stories behind this drop and drive that we're doing, because remember there was a car that drove up. There were two little girls. I'm not sure if you were here because you were so busy running around.
Yes.
Two little girls whose father told us that they looked within their cupboards and they saw things that they knew they no longer needed. And they said, Daddy, we want to make a donation. And Daddy brought those two girls down.
Yes.
They were so happy to lend their support to what's going on here. And it's the kind of family initiative that we're excited about, because it really brings the family together to help our family in St. Vincent.
Yes, because we're all one family, and the eruption of the volcano showed us how really close we are to St. Vincent. So we definitely are encouraging persons to look out for one another. This is the time to make that mark and help persons definitely in need at this time.
Listen, this sun just came out so hard. So hard just one time.
Yes.
But it's a great day. It's a glorious day for anyone to come on down. Fortunately, we've been receiving some good weather here in Barbados.
Definitely.
And we're hoping that good weather stays right through for the weekend as well, because this drive not only continues today, but continues tomorrow.
Yes, so we were here from 7, and there was someone here at 7:02 doing their delivery. Yes, so persons are driving in, they're dropping off, and as we said, we're not encouraging any congregating. It's a drive, you drop. In some cases, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can pop the bonnet, the trunk, and we take out the things for you. We also want to encourage persons and remind them that we're operating in a COVID environment, so you are required to wear your mask upon entry here at the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. And just make sure that when you come, you have your mask, you come in, you do your drive, your drop. As I said before, not only can you drive in, you can walk in, you can ride in. However you come, we will take you with your items. We'll take your items.
Yes. We will take.
Yeah,
we
will
accept your items from
accept
you.
them.
You can imagine boxing me to send me St. Vincent.
But I think somebody was trying to put DJ Ras in a box yesterday. I think so.
We're still having fun. And that's the spirit that we're having here in the car park of the CBC as we continue our Help SVG drive and drop.
Yes.
So we want to appeal to you to come on down like this appeal. Take this one in, coming from Ingrid, who's a viewer to Morning Barbados, and she really wants you to get involved. So let's listen to what Ingrid has to say.
Hi, I'm Ingrid Doyle. Heard on Morning Barbados that the radio station was collecting for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and just wanted to be a part of it. Bring some supplies over and simply show togetherness with our sister island.
That just goes to show so many people everywhere are really lending the support. It's a nice breezy day. If I come under the tent now, and this big tall man next to me decided he was going to join us right here. This is Versi Wild of 98.1 The One. Versi, good morning to you.
Morning to you.
You're early, man.
Yes.
You're normally a nighttime guy on the air. But here it is because you wanted to lend your help, right?
Yes, it's a very important call. So I said, let me just get it here as soon as you all started today. I started help right away. I didn't want to put it back at all. This cause is way too important.
So it's important. What does it mean to you?
I had a fear that the volcano would erupt. When I was hearing about the activity, and then when I heard it actually did, I know I cannot imagine to feel what the Vincentians are feeling. But I felt so badly. I was just wondering what would happen. So this is my chance to help. I'm sorry, can't do more, but
No big laugh at the muscle, every muscle here, because I'm so glad to see you too. Yesterday, I had to do all of the heavy lifting. The girls behind you can hear me, But so now we have some other guys. But yesterday, Dave Smooth came by with Touchdown.
Nice.
We would have had DJ Indian with Chris Gale. They were passing through. Ras, all of them came through, and Tisha Hines. Everybody was out here really chipping in. So for those of you who want to meet your favorite personality, we encourage you to come down and meet them as well while you bring your donation. Yes. So what else apart from your own strong, healthy body did you bring?
I'm just waiting to get the flyer so I can post it right away.
Right.
And I'm going to do just a couple of snaps for my people to see I'm here. I mean, almost everybody's watching this, but a few people who may not be.
Yes.
You hopefully see my social media platform so they can see the come out and contribute.
I want you to make your appeal to your listeners because they're young people, and we don't want young people to think that this is for old people. This is for every one of us.
True. Well, to everybody watching now, just come on down, donate what you can. We're not saying you have to donate a lot of items or you have to bring cash money. And anything you can contribute that would be a help to our brothers and sisters in St Vincent and the Grenadines. Just come. Don't worry about, man, this person bring 10 cases of water, well, you can bring one. Don't study about that. Just come and just bring something that can help, please.
I like that. Please. I like that indeed. There's also another appeal coming in, this time from a guidance counselor at the Princess Margaret School. Her name is Corrine Haynes. Let's take a look at Corrine's appeal.
Huh? That with me?
Okay, so we're going to get Corrine's appeal in just a while. But remember, you can drive in your vehicle. We will guide you through. The team is here on standby to assist you. Pop the trunk and we're going to help you. We're not going to leave you stranded. The containers here, we're going to fill that container. We want to, as Tisha said yesterday while we were talking to her on the air, we want to have another container. We want to get it right. So let's take a look at this appeal coming in from the guidance counselor at Princess Margaret.
Alumni Association. From watching the videos of the eruption of the volcano, I decided to reach out to my colleagues and ask for assistance. So hence, the contributions started to pour in. I also reached out to Mark Anthony, one of the announcers of the radio, and I asked him to advertise our St. Vincent and the Grenadines relief effort. So from that announcement, I started to receive a lot more contributions.
Well, there you go. That's another appeal, this time coming in from the guidance counselor at the Princess Margaret Secondary School. So we can't say it enough. And volunteers, some of those who are related to some of us, are here as well. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
What's your first name?
Destiny.
Destiny, and who are you here with?
I'm here with my grandmother, Nicole.
So what does it mean for you to contribute to this cause?
It means a lot to me because I have family in St. Vincent and I just like giving back.
Tell us about your relatives there. Where do they live?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
But you have Vincentian relatives as well. Have you been hearing from them?
No, please.
Would you love to hear from them?
Yes, please.
I just hope that they're not displaced significantly by the ashfall in St. Vincent as well. So when you heard of the eruption of the volcano and knowing you got a family there, what's the first thing that ran through your mind?
I was a bit scared, to be honest. I have never experienced nothing like that and I didn't even know what to think.
Have you ever been there?
I think when I was a little.
Girl, it's a beautiful island. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful island. Then there are the Grenadines as well, very idyllic. You know, there are people from the royal family in Britain who visit the Grenadines pretty often. So when you get a chance to go visit your relatives as well, I hope you get a chance to explore all the beauty of the Grenadines. And that's what we want to be able to give to today. We have a drop-off right now. You need to go help the postal worker, so thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
Really good. You're getting a glimpse inside of what's happening here. Our postal worker just bringing her donation as well and dropping it off. Our team will be sorting that through and getting it all ready. So Nicole, you've been so busy here. You're stuffing and packing and unpacking.
Yes, we are. As you can see, we have a lot of water. As I said before, we're sorting the things. So we have a process here. We have a drop-off table. Then the items leave the drop-off table and they go over to the sorting area. We'll do them group them like hot chocolate, rice, flour, those canned items.
Yes.
Then once we get a box full, we tape that box up and it comes over to this area. This is actually the container, and we start the process all over again.
I think for those who would have just seen what happened just now, it is a short process. For those of you who are thinking, but I don't have that time, you're kidding me. We move so swiftly.
It's so simple, so very, very simple. As I said before, you don't even have to get out of your vehicle if you don't want to. We've seen many people came in yesterday and they just took the horn and popped the trunk, and we just confirm what is to be taken out so that we don't take out more than we should.
Yes.
But in most cases, it's take everything. Yeah, so that's how it is. It's really, really simple.
It's just so funny how the team just swoops in. Car drives up, car stops, whoops. The team is there and say, hey, good morning. Thank you so much, Thank you for coming down and making those contributions as well. But there are other people who've been assisting us right through this particular drive and drop as well, who've lent resources to us. I'm sure you'd want to say thank you to some of them now.
Of course, we want to say a tremendous thank you to Container Services for providing the container, Exquisite Rentals for assisting with tables, Wolverine Ice, making sure that our liquid refreshments they stay cold. The many volunteers, internal staff members, and then staff members who would have brought relatives to come and assist as well. Also, Colin Brathwaite, who would have loaned us one of our tents. And a tent is really important to keep the sun out and so forth. We want to say we cannot forget the Barbados Fire Service. They assisted us with getting the car parked to a certain condition that was conducive to this type of effort. And also SEDEMA and the DEM for providing the master list and also guidance as to how to proceed with this initiative.
It truly has been a team effort, and this team is anxiously awaiting your donations today. We continue again tomorrow, and we're encouraging you to come down in your numbers. Bring from your generosity, bring to help those in SVG. And when you come, we're already saying thank you to all of you. So thank you, Nicole, as well, for leading the team in this effort as well. It's been a lot of work, but it brings us joy.
Yes, definitely. It warms your heart to see the team working so hard to try to get this initiative on its way, and we're already seeing the success of it. So we are just really happy, and we just want to appeal to Barbadians. Come on down, donate. St Vincent needs your help.
Amen to that. I can't tell the time. I really have no eye on the clock. Nicole, just give me a quick time check. All right, so very soon, do we take a break? We'll take a break and we will come back. We'll tell you a whole lot more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It is day 2 of our drive and drop here in the car park of the CBC. Yes, the team is on standby. We are receiving your donations. Since just about 2 minutes after 7 o'clock, people have been really coming through and making their drop. You too can come down and make your drop today, and we'll continue tomorrow. Donna is also one of those volunteers who's been here receiving those gifts. Donna, good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
What does it mean to you to be a part of this initiative?
It is a great feeling to be able to give back. When Nicole told me of the initiative, I really felt a sense to come on board and assist. My relationship with Nicole goes back to secondary school, and we've maintained that friendship throughout our life so far. So I know all of her family in St Vincent. So her brothers, her nieces, all of us are like family. So hearing what they were going through, I said, no, I need to come and give a helping hand. I'm on holiday, so I said, well, it's a perfect time to come and help out.
I love it. I love it. I hope you brought some items too,
Yes,
right?
I did. Of course I did. I came with my items this morning, Pearson.
Fantastic.
Yes,
So I want you to make an appeal to those who are still between twits and mind. We're trying to figure out what to do. Tell them why they should come.
Okay.
Look to the camera right there.
Good morning, Barbados again. I do believe that as little as you have, you can make a contribution. We all know that in these times it may be a little bit challenging, but I do encourage you to give that little small amount, despite how small it is. It's a great contribution to the persons, our brothers and sisters, as I would say, in St. Vincent. So come on down. We're going to be here until 5:30 this evening, so you can just pass, drive through, and we'll take your items for you. So thanks. We're looking forward to seeing you coming down. Good morning, everyone.
Donna, that was excellent. Well done. You've had some training in media, no doubt. But well done. Thank you so much for your appeal.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me here this morning. It's a pleasure.
You're very welcome. Indeed, our pleasure too. And don't forget, folks, there's some other things happening as well. We encourage you to bring on the spring event, some items. Hey, there's another drop-off right there. Organized to raise funds to purchase 5 ECG machines, and that's for the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. You can see the information right there on your screen. We encourage you to be a part of that initiative as well. And don't forget, also this weekend is going to be another stand home party, this time the QB edition. And if you could just get a quick look at that drop-off right there, a relative coming in from St. Philip and bring more water. That's what we're appealing for. Lots and lots and lots of water, because the more the merrier. Nothing is going to be wasted. We really want to thank all of you for generously lending to this initiative. So remember, the drive and drop today until 5:30. We continue tomorrow, Saturday, until 5:30, beginning at 7. Hi there. Ma'am, good morning to you. How are you doing?
Good morning, Pearson. I'm fine.
Good. Thank you for coming on and dropping off. Why did you think the need to?
Well, it could be next, you know, and we should help our brothers.
Absolutely.
And we're in the Caribbean, all one.
Yep. You're absolutely right on that one. So thank you again, okay?
You're most welcome. Have a blessed day.
Likewise to you. Thank you. All right, so that's it for today, everybody. We thank you so much. We're looking forward to your generosity. Don't forget, the drive and drop continues till 5:30 today. Back again tomorrow morning for even more. For the crew, to all of you, thank you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.